Good day everyone. We are about to discuss to you our report regarding fiscal policy from 1946 to the present. First, let us define fiscal policy. This term refers to how the government modifies tax rates and spending levels in order to track its effects on the national economy. There are two types of fiscal policy, which includes expansionary fiscal policy and contractionary fiscal policy. Expansionary fiscal policy is designed to boost the economy. It is also a form of macroeconomic policy that seeks to encourage economic growth by increasing aggregate demand. However, contractionary fiscal policy happens when the government either cuts spending or raises taxes. The purpose of contractionary fiscal policy is to slow growth to a healthy economic level. The effect of World War II on the Philippine economic activity was successfully desperate, as Manila, the nation's capital, was demolished, while the remainder of the Philippines remained largely unaffected. But the economy that is largely dependent on agriculture was interrupted.
Hello, I am Janeline Desalia, and I will discuss the tax system that changes and challenges in the Philippines. So, starts 1946 to 1992. So, from Manuel Rojas, so he is the first president of the Third Philippine Republic on 1946. The economic situation was problematic. Low production, decreasing job availability, and weak education system. So, ayun nga, sa pag-upo niya ay siya namang pagdami ng mga problema. Kagaya ng mga binanggit ko, yan, sa hirap talaga ng bansa natin noon, like, dahil na rin sa epekto ng World War II, kaya nagkaganon. Next naman is kay LP Quirino, 1948. Okay, nung time niya ay nag-isip siya ng effective way para mapaangat pa yung ating economy. Like, ang ginawa niya ay nagpatupad siya ng tinatawag na import and exchange controls. Okay, which means na nag-focus tayo sa paggawa ng mga sariling products instead na mag-import. So, because of that, the income of the government arises, especially dahil sa mataas na corporate tax. Okay, so imagine, noong 1953, mas dumoble ang tax revenue compared noong 1948. Okay, the next is Ramon Magsaysay, Carlos Garcia, at Diosdado Macapagal in 1950s and 1960s. So, these three president ay parang, ang ginawa nila ay parang nag-partnerships yung ganap nila. So, dahil nagkasundo sila sa napag-aralan ang tax system ng bansa, kaya naman noong taong 1959, gumawa sila ng tax commission gamit ang Republic Act number 2211. Okay, but even may ganitong hakbang, wala pa rin talagang bagong batas about sa tax ang naipasa mula taong 1959 hanggang 1968. So, galing pa rin sa indirect taxes like VAT or VAT, and may problema din in terms sa corruptions noon. So, hindi pa rin maayos yung sistema ng taxes. Okay, the next slide is Ferdinand Marcos, which is 1981 to 1985. Okay, so sa panahon ni Marcos, ang tax system natin ay halos nakadepend sa indirect taxes, which is 70% ng kita ng gobyerno ay galing nga doon. So, tumataas nga yung collection ng tax ng mga 15% every year. But, mababa pa rin yung total revenue na nakukuha. So, parang hindi responsive yung tax system natin sa panahon ni Marcos. And hindi talaga nasusustain yung pangailangan ng ating economy. Okay, the next is kay Corazon Aquino. Okay, when it comes to her, ay nagkaroon ng malaking reforma in terms sa tax system. So, it was called the 1986 Tax Reform Programs. And inayos niya ang mga ehensya like development of finance at BIR with the use of Executive Order number 127 and mas pinaayos ang collection and tax audits. And also yung computerization isinimula na rin. And ang resulta, syempre, tumaas yung revenue and effort mula 10.7% noong 1985 to 15.4% taong 1992. And kung mapapansin natin, ang laki ng improvement, right? So, ayun, nakita natin kung paano ang mga changes ng tax system natin through the years from the challenges noong sa panahon pa ni Rojas hanggang sa reforma ni Cory. And kita-kita natin na malaki talaga ang impact ng leadership pagdating sa ekonomiya ng bansa. So again, I am Janeline Desalia and thank you. Have a good day.
Fidel V. Ramos. This administration ventured into its own tax reform program in 1997 through the Comprehensive Tax Reform Program. Comprehensive tax reform implemented to make the tax system broad-based, simple, and reasonable tax rates, minimize tax avoidance allowed by existing loopholes, and by increasing tax exemption levels, lowering the higher tax rates, simplifying procedures, and rationalize the grant of tax incentives. Joseph Estrada, 1998, was too short to continue any change in tax system. Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, she undertook the increased government spending without adjusting the tax collections. This resulted in large deficit from 2002 to 2004. The Expanded Value Added Tax or EVAT was signed into the law as Republic Act 9337. Select professional services were also taxed. In February 2006, the value added tax rate was also increased from 10% to 12%. Benigno Simeon Aquino III. The administration ventured into the adjustment of excise tax on liquor and cigarette or the sin tax reform. The sin tax reform is primarily a health measure with a revenue implication, but more fundamentally, it helps finance the universal healthcare program of the government, simplify the current excise tax system on alcohol and tobacco products. Rodrigo R. Duterte promised tax reform, particularly in income taxes, as it vowed to lower income tax rate shouldered by working Filipinos. The proposed tax reform also seeks limit value-added tax exemption and increase excise taxes on petroleum products, automobiles. The present income tax scheme of the country is second highest in Southeast Asia, and current laws on income taxes were outdated as they were drafted 2 decades ago. This data gives information how the Philippines tax policy evolved by the past few years, and every administration has its own policy how to increase the revenue of the country. Fidel V. Ramos. This administration ventured into its own tax reform program in 1997 through the Comprehensive Tax Reform Program. Comprehensive tax reform implemented to make the tax system broad-based, simple, and reasonable tax rates, minimize tax avoidance allowed by existing loopholes, and by increasing tax exemption levels, lowering the higher tax rates, simplifying procedures, and rationalize the grant of tax incentives.